we are going to see hydrogen energy uses of hydrogen energy. So as I told previous class, that is previous video, so hydrogen is a abundant energy source which is not a primary source. It is energy carrier. Okay, it can be delivered or stored a tremendous amount of energy. So hydrogen can be used as a fuel cell in order to generate the electricity, or to generate the power, or to generate the heat. For that the fuel cells are used. Today hydrogen is the most commonly used for refining the petroleum products and fertilizer production, and while transportation and utilities are emerging in the markets. So hydrogen is a clean fuel which consumed in a fuel cell, which produces only from the water, electricity and heat. So hydrogen and fuel cells can play very important role in our national energy strategy, with the potential for the use of a broad range of applications. All sectors like the transportation sectors, commercial sectors, industrial sectors, residential and portable sectors. Hydrogen and fuel cells can provide the energy for use in diverse applications, including distributed and combined heat and power, backup power, system for storing and enabling the renewable energy, portable power, and auxiliary power for the trucks, aircraft, forklift, special types of vehicles, passenger and freight vehicles. We are using this hydrogen as a fuel. Since because of the high efficiency and zero emission operation, the emission operation is very zero, that is zero or near zero emission operation. So because of that we are using the hydrogen and fuel cells in order to reduce the in order to reduce the greenhouse gas emission in many applications. So the majority, that is a major part, is nothing but now the hydrogen. Today's scenario, hydrogen is being used for to power the commercial buses, the buses which uses by internal combustion engine burning with the combination of hydrogen and other fuels also, but solely by hydrogen is used in the fuel cells. Hydrogen is used in many commercial applications, from welding the metal to dyeing the fabrics or making some electronics or plastics or fertilizers. When a renewable, economically viable production process of hydrogen is achieved, the advantages are widespread in the many industries. Hydrogen can be used as a mobile source for power for the transportation by being the compressed and stored in a small tank for the application, which is similar to the gasoline or propane. There are two superior ways of using the hydrogen energy. One is nothing but the internal combustion engine process, another one is a fuel cell process. In that internal combustion engine process, that is ICE, will act as a transition technology, while fuel cells are improving because the modification is required to convert ICE to operate and hydrogen are not very significant. And fuel cells, it is also expected to generate as a choice for the future of high powered hydrogen energy applications, virtually emission free, efficient, reliable characteristics. Here the fuel cells which converts the stored chemical energy into the electrical energy. So light duty high vehicles are mostly used with the hydrogen energy. That is 90% of the reduction in the emission over the today's gasoline vehicles. Along with the gasoline, we can use the hydrogen in order to reduce the emission. Specialty vehicles, nearly 35% of percentage of the reduction in the emission over current diesel and battery powered lift trucks, and nearly two times higher than the natural gas if you are going with the ICE buses. ICE, internal combustion diesel engine buses. And auxiliary power units are used for that 60% of reduction in the emission compared to the truck engine idling. But the greatest challenge for the hydrogen is nothing but production and saving. How to store the hydrogen, how to produce the hydrogen. These two things is the biggest challenge, because hydrogen is obtaining in the lower cost from the renewable resources, but saving the energy is very difficult. And transportation fuel cells, hydrogen must be competitive with the conventional fuel technologies. This means that we are saying that the cost of hydrogen of the production technology is less than the gasoline, but practically it is not possible. So next we are going to discuss about the advantages of the hydrogen energy. The first advantages is nothing but uncoupling of primary energy sources and utilization. That means it is a secondary energy carrier. It is not a primary energy carrier. So we can couple with the primary energy sources for the production of hydrogen and utilization. So it is cheap. Hydrogen is a gas. It is easier to store than to store the electricity. So it is a gas. We can store it in the tanker when compared to as a electricity. Whenever the electricity is needed there, we can utilize this gas to convert to the chemical reaction. Hydrogen can be obtained from any primary energy source, including renewable energy sources. Decentralized production is possible. So hydrogen is viewed as a capable of providing services where electricity is not available, in remote places or dense forest places or in remote sea locations. There also we can use this one. In particular, we can say that fuel for the vehicles and energy storage in the remote areas. Very efficient when it is when fuel cells are used. Very good experience of hydrogen as a chemical reactants are used along with the ammonia, methanol and oil refining. That is fermentation process. When sugarcane is going for the fermentation process where the methanol is produced. If you talk about the biomass, there also the foods or some kind of ripe foods are put it in the furnace. For 3 days it is covered with that without sunlight, in the sense one bad smell is coming. That some smell is nothing but the gas. From that gas also, that is called as a biogas. From the biogas we can extract the hydrogen, but only 35 to 40% of hydrogen can be obtained. But it is a chemical reactant. Very good safety records. The range of applications we can use it. And also we can say that it is a renewable energy sources. Numerous sources to produce the hydrogen, such as the sources are like it can be produced from the other kind of biomass, coal, water. It is practically clean energy source. So when the hydrogen is burned to produce the fuel, the byproducts are totally safe, which doesn't have any side effects. So mostly aeronautical companies actually use of hydrogen for source of drinking water. And hydrogen energy is a non-toxic energy. It is not a toxic, it is a non-toxic energy. And The high use of hydrogen is greatly reduces the pollution. The hydrogen is efficient type of energy when compared to the other kind of energy sources, which is used for powering the spaceships, and it is a sustainable production. That is, the with the help of electrolysis method, the hydrogen can be produced with the help of water. So renewable energy can be used for the power electrolyzer in order to produce the hydrogen. It is sustainable, it is more abundant. And disadvantages in the sense poor overall energy efficiency when it is produced from the electricity made with the fossil fuels. Where fossil fuels are used for the production of electricity as a one of the carrier, hydrogen is used in the sense overall energy efficiency is less. Very low density and poor specific volume energy density. Need for high pressure and very low temperature if it is stored as a liquid in the tanker. Specific safety problems and poor public acceptance, because sometimes it is a flammable one, so it may cause some kind of disaster also if you are wrongly used. No existing infrastructure for the transportation, distribution, and storage. If a demand is more, then the infrastructure will be developed, and the transportation and distribution storage will be, the infrastructure will be more. And one more thing is, it is high cost now. Till today, it is very high cost. It is very expensive because we are obtaining the hydrogen by use of two methods. One is nothing but steam reforming method. Another one is electrolysis method. Electrolysis method is nothing but a hydrogen extraction process from the water. So here, for both the cases, the infrastructure for implementation is very large things, and we have to invest more. Storage and complication. That means for storing as a gas soline in the sense less density is required, and it is not safest for the source of energy, and depend on the fossil fuels because hydrogen energy is a renewable energy, but separation from the oxygen which requires some of the non-renewable sources such as coal, oil, natural gas. So fossil fuels are also still needed for the production of hydrogen fuel, and hydrogen energy cannot sustain the population since the cost of harnessing the utilization, it is very high. So these are the disadvantages of the hydrogen energy. And next we are going to see about the problems associated with the hydrogen energy. What are the problems associated with the hydrogen energy? The problems associated with the hydrogen energies are the many serious problems that are affecting the development of the hydrogen for household and transport applications. First one is storage. The storage of hydrogen is a major issue. It must be stored at extremely low temperature with high pressure. We have a container which is able to store the hydrogen with the specifications. What is the specification? It should have low temperature with high pressure. So hydrogen storage could be viewed as a serious problem for the consumer. Second one is a high reactivity of the hydrogen. High reactivity of the hydrogen in the sense hydrogen is extremely reactive, and the combustible and and is a flammable one. So sometimes it may be some disaster also created. That means the hydrogen filled blimp will be exploded in Hindenburg, and many people were died because of the fear of hydrogen. Third one is cost and methods of the hydrogen fuel production. So current production of hydrogen takes a lot of energy. If one has to burn the fossil fuel to make the hydrogen, now the clean energy technology or hydrogen production methods are used for the development of this one. So we are talking about the cost. Next one, demand. Nowadays demand is very less because most of them are using the fossil fuels. If the demand is increases in the sense, then the cost will be reduced. But the transport companies will not start to produce the hydrogen based vehicles until this there is a consumer demand for that particular kind of vehicles. So consumer demand also the problem, and the cost of changing the infrastructure in order to accommodate the hydrogen equipment and appliances also the another problem.